Dabo Swinney goes off on Pete Golding because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Welcome to College Football 2026 and the Transfer Portal.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Portal podcast for this bonus episode with Dabo Swinney going off at a press conference. Hi, my name is Brian Smith, longtime college football recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal podcast a part of your day each and every day right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports broadcasting network for all your podcasting needs. And I'm just going to jump into it. We're not going to take any time. Dabo Swinney just hammered, and I do mean hammered, roughly an hour, a little over, during a press conference talking about the Luke Ferrelli situation, and it's awkward. Text messages being discussed. Pete Golding texting Ferrelli after he had transferred from Cal to Clemson. He's in class at Clemson getting messages from Golding. What's the buyout? We'll offer more. We'll double the offer. All these kinds of things alleged by Clemson, according to On3, et cetera, and different sites. And I just want to chime in with a few minutes and thoughts about this. Number one, Dabo does not seem like to me, and I don't know the man, never met him, but does anybody out there think that Dabo minces words a lot? Do you think he makes up a lot of things regarding what other coaches say or what they do? Do you think he's somebody that wants to grind an axe just for fun to see who he can poke over here or over there? To all of that, I say no. If you have a different thought, fire away. But like Dabo, dislike Dabo, there is one thing about him. He is A to B. And text messages are text messages. The agent involved with Luke Ferrelli, who, by the way, was ACC Newcomer of the Year, Freshman of the Year, like he had over 90 tackles. I'll put up his stats here in a second. We'll get into that. There's a reason that Ole Miss wanted him. He's a dude. He's probably a future NFL player. He's got 3 years of eligibility left. Clemson got him. But again, he was on campus in class, and they're still recruiting him. That's pretty blatant if that's the case. But is Pete Golding the only guy doing this? And should there be more outrage over other people? Or is it just because Dabo had the press conference? People want clicks. People want information. I mean, Dabo is giving it to them, so they're going to take it. And then once I read the articles, I'm like, well, heck, I want the clicks too. I'm not going to lie. I want them too. I'm honest about it. But this is fascinating. If Pete Golding really did go directly at the kid while he's in class at Clemson, I ask a few different things of you. Why would you do that? B, are there going to be any repercussions? And who should be the one scolding Pete Golding? Well, there are many different ways to look at it. Obviously, the SEC, they don't like to hurt their own, but this is awkward. If they've got real text messages with him going after one of the players, even though he got him, somebody's going to do a records act at some point, and it's going to get awkward. Somebody's going to sue the NCAA. There's going to be different things like this. It's going to happen. Is it going to be this case? I don't know, but these different booster groups, not the schools themselves, could do it. The school would say, don't do that. But if the boosters are the ones paying for Ferrelli or, again, some other player, eventually they're going to sue a school and directly sue coaches, including possibly Pete Golding. That's going to happen. So the NCAA, we know they're toothless. I say that on this show all the time. It's one of the most worthless organizations in all of American society. But the SEC's got a little more, I'd hope, creativity on how to get out of this, but the kid's now going to Ole Miss. So I'm not sure they can. Does Ole Miss have to pay some kind of buyout? What's the situation? Is there a penalty because the kid was already on campus and literally, again, enrolled at Clemson? Where is this at? To put it in perspective, I'm not sure I've ever heard of anything about a kid already being enrolled somewhere after the transfer portal. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you want to comment on this somewhere along the lines of, yeah, this has happened with this school and that school, I'd love to hear it. But again, Dabo going to the press conference and saying this stuff, that makes it pretty easy. He connected the dots, the timeline, the whole 9 yards, and that's why it's so ugly. Now, keep in mind who Pete Golding worked for, what league he's in, where this is an old saying in the SEC, and I'm not kidding. This is literally an old saying. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I didn't make that up at the beginning of this podcast. That is an old SEC thing. That league's had more cheating than any other league in the history of college football. But who was there last? Lane Kiffin. What did Kiffin do just last week to Ole Miss? Well, they've taken coaches, they've taken staffers, Winnie Watkins, Human Ellen, several different people from Ole Miss ended up down there. TJ Daugherty, like starters, headed down to LSU. There was discussion about it, but nobody at Ole Miss had a press conference on it either. If they would have, there would have been more information. But writers, sometimes I can just tell you from being on that side of the ledger, they're a little iffy sometimes about going forward with it because they don't want to get in any hot water. Well, if Dabo hands it to you and you just quote him, then you're good. That's why there's more articles out there than you can shake a stick at. The Greenville News, all the kinds of different newspapers are involved, plus the big box networks like ESPN, CBS, etc. This is different. So I ask again, who's at fault here? Is it NCAA? Is it SEC? How do you want to look at this? Well, my take is everybody is at fault, and this is why. We say that there are rules, but rules are only really just that, rules, when they're enforced consistently. However, the SEC, the ACC, the NCAA in particular, don't enforce them. The only thing they care about are almighty dollar bills. They don't want litigation. That's expensive, very, very expensive. It's a black eye. And yes, I'm looking directly at Greg Sankey and everybody else that's in all these entities. They're not doing a very good job. You can look at the scenario with the ACC right now. It's ironic. This is the second one they've been in the last few days. The other ones, Mr. Darian Mensah at Duke, allegedly going to Miami. They're afraid to say anything about that. They're worried about the dollar bills there too, and that's interconference. That's worse. But at the end of the day, everybody's cheating. Who's getting penalized? Until somebody absolutely, unequivocally gets hammered, and that means financially, that means scholarships, and that means coaches sitting out, this will continue. There is no shortcut. Hammered. You can't just slap somebody on the wrist. Oh, don't do that again, little Johnny. You have to hammer them. Unfortunately, that also means that the league and the NCAA has to take money out of their own pocket. How much do you really think there's an good odds for that to happen? Any? None? I'm going with none. I don't trust anybody in any league at the top of the board, like a Sankey or anybody like that, or anybody at the NCAA, period, because they're all about themselves until otherwise proven. If Sankey or anybody else really had any morals, he would do something directly right away, hold his own press conference and hammer him. And the ACC with the whole Miami thing and all that, Duke, Cal, everybody, there would be something going on so everybody gets the right answer. I mean, Cal just lost a player to the portal. How do I know that somebody that's a Clemson booster didn't induce him? I doubt it. I don't think Clemson's doing that directly under Swinney, but that doesn't mean a booster didn't do it. Who knows? Bottom line, there's so much cheating going on, it's not even funny. So don't just point at Pete Golding, who, again, it looks pretty much like he's one of the cheaters, but he's not the only one. Kiffin is stealing players from the school he just represented. It's just true. So the NCAA, the SEC, the ACC, they all have problems. And until somebody gets penalized, this is where we're going to be. When we come back, I want your thoughts on a couple of questions that I have because I want to know who's going to be the first one to get in trouble. That is next right here on the Portal Podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, and we are in playoff mode. The most fun part of the year for the NFL. NFC, AFC title games, the Super Bowl. It's a lot of fun. We have some really interesting situations, especially on the AFC side, with obviously Stidham being the quarterback for Denver. How's that going to work out? Is Drake May going to throw it as much? That's going to be very interesting, and FanDuel is going to let you have some fun with that. Every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel lets you have a profit boost pack waiting for you inside the FanDuel app. So each game day, you're going to have a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts. You can apply to the bets that you like the best. Maybe one of them's with Stidham. Maybe a few of them are even with May. Like there's a lot of different opportunities. And the boosts let you learn more about what's going on, what your instincts take over, whether you're backing momentum, defense, quarterback play, or anything else. That is up to you with FanDuel. Make your picks count with FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL game day. Thank you once again for making the Portal Podcast a part of your day. Check out the link below. We're going to have some fun all right here on the Locked On Podcast Network for as long as I can possibly do so. And to make it better, take your audio on the go with no ads. $5 a month or $50 for the year. You can get it for free. That is the Everydayer Club. And down below in the description, there is a link to describe it more. We've got a Discord. You can check out all kinds of things going on the national board, team sites, and everything else. Check out the Everydayer Club. So who's going to be the first one to get penalized? Is it going to be Miami with the whole Darian Mensah thing? Or are they going to go after Ole Miss because it's not as big a fish as LSU? Again, there's no doubt LSU was, go back and look it up yourself. Don't believe me. Go look it up yourself. Multiple guys got suddenly transferred from Ole Miss to LSU. Why are we just picking on Pete Golden? Again, I'm not exonerating him in any way, shape, or form. It's pretty obvious that he is a guilty party as well, but he's like, screw it. If my old boss is going to take players from me, I'm going to go take players too. This is a problem in college athletics. We have no administration with any cojones. None. Absolutely none. So are they going to go after a school that not that many people like Miami? Possibly. Or are they going to go after Ole Miss, who's not as big a fish as LSU? LSU makes them more money. No doubt about it. Who are they going to go after? Eventually, again, I'm guaranteeing this. One of these booster groups from School A or School B that loses a player in a scenario like this, Luke Ferrelli, is going to sue people. Don't discount the NCAA being one of them that gets sued. They are not out of this at all just because they just sit quietly in the corner. Because they're not doing their job, somebody could sue them as well. Lawyers will find a way. So with that, who's it going to be? I want your comments down below. Let me hear what you have to say about it. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but again, my one guarantee is that there will be lawsuits. It's just a matter of time and a matter of when. Thank you very much for checking out the Portal Podcast. I truly appreciate it. We will see you again soon.